some of the pressing things, and one of the most exciting things that have happened in the summer so far is Steph Curry. Sterling, take it away. What is your favorite? What is your GOAT? I'm gonna say it because I know ever since you left San Francisco in the Bay Area, you've just been in love with Steph Curry. So what did Steph Curry do just recently?
Yeah, I mean that was a lot there on that intro, but Steph won the American Century Championship over the weekend, so that's the big celeb tournament that's out in Tahoe. Shout out, amazing place if you've never been up to Lake Tahoe. What was amazing about it was Steph Curry hit a hole-in-one, which is just wild, right? You could play golf your whole life, never hit a hole-in-one, and then for him to be able to go out on a championship round in front of a ton of fans, a ton of people on live TV, be able to do that, amazing. There was one putt that I mean, probably 15, 16 feet of break from about 20 feet away. And he shot and he taps it. He walks away like he just shot a 3-pointer from the corner that he knew was going in. It drops in. And then to win the tournament, puts himself in position on 18 for an eagle putt. The eagle putt drops again, turns around before the putt even goes into the hole. And for the walk-off win of the ACC championship, it's unbelievable. It's just you run out of words to really explain what he is. Truly, right? He's a wizard on the basketball court. He's this 6'2", 6'3" guy that's found a way to be not just crafty, right? He's the best shooter we've ever seen. Strong enough to get to the hole, got the handle, just does all the things, right? And then to be able to step onto a golf course the way that he can, and truly, I mean, I think he's only played like 1 or 2 tournaments, right? On kind of the G League, right? Of I don't even know what it's called now, with some of the changes, but I mean, he can go out and compete and be a really good golfer if he wanted to. I think that's the crazy thing, and it'd be interesting to see if that's his second act, if you will, right? Whenever his run with the Warriors is done and he decides to kind of pick this up full time, like what does that even look like? So then it made me think, like, is he one of the best I know he's truly not a dual athlete because he's not playing golf full time, but let's say he did, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that golf becomes his second act after he retires from the NBA and becomes like a top 10 player and all that stuff, right? Would you then put him up there as one of the best dual athletes of all time with a Bo Jackson, with a Deion Sanders? Like, does that happen there?
I respect where you're coming from because I respect the game so much when it comes to the game of golf. But we do have to use the word. We have to break the word athlete down when it comes to golf.
See, I knew you were going to do this. I'm excited for this.
I'm not saying golfers aren't athletes. You don't have to be athletic, but the athleticism needed for this sport varies to a, I think, large degree to what is required for who you just pointed out. Let's just say Bo Jackson. And I felt like that cadence just sounded like Skip Bayless, and that was just not good.
It did. Not good. Not your best.
About the athlete who you just said, Bo Jackson. Let's break down Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, though, legitimately, Auburn great, Auburn legend, goes to the MLB, breaks a bat over his knee, has athleticism that can't be really compared to. Then you have another, Deion Sanders. Baseball and football as well. You see the crossover of those two sports being able to play professionally. And I think athleticism-wise, that takes you to another, I think, realm of athlete, because golf is the thing about golf is you have to be so cerebral. And here's the thing that I respect Steph Curry about so much, and I was going to ask you this, and it's, I think Steph gets obsessed. And I say this in a positive way of, like, when he knows that he can be better at something, he's going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Like he always says, when people talk about his 3-pointers that he makes, it's like, you don't see what I did for the 1,000 shots that I had to take during the week just to be able to know I'm in the corner and I make that 3, because it's just rhythm at this point. It's repetition. So that repetition that he puts in, that practice that he puts in, he puts that into golf. And then you see that having that walk off eagle, walk off win was a birdie putt, like you said. And then the eagle putt, walk off eagle putt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then just having the repetition to know, obviously it's kind of luck on the hole in one, but still he'd be, maybe 2 feet away. So he just puts in the time and the effort, like Sterling, you put that time and the effort, where can you be with golf? But also it's great to be able to have that leisure time where you can just put that in. I want to play three rounds a day if I really wanted to go on Michael Jordan on it, or playing 36 holes, whichever way. So like, I think he's an amazing athlete. I wouldn't say greatest 2-time because he's not playing that professionally.
Sure.
Dual sport athlete, but I will say he is a great, fierce competitor. Where does that rank him? Tops amongst all time. And I think, if he does want to step into possibly going PGA and getting his tour card, so I think he will be accelerated that, not having to go through Q and the Korn Ferry Tour. We'll see, but I think he's on his way to being, labeled as a great overall athlete and competitor.
Yeah, it's fair. That's why I theorize if he would go into golf full time right after he retires from the NBA, what does that look like? What do you rank him there as? Mm-hmm. And I thought what you were going to get into is just like what we attribute as athleticism, because like, sure, Bo Jackson, Deion, as true like athletes, running, jumping, right? Like they're better athletes and stuff. And I think that's what makes it so impressive to me is he's not the most athletic guy. He's not the strongest. He's not the fastest. And he does what he does on the basketball court and then can go out. And to your point, because of the repetition, because of just the obsessiveness, he's able to then go out and do it on a golf course, which is just so impressive to me, right? It's just like this. He is. He's a crazy competitor. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that, probably because he's light-skinned, like he's a nice person, but he's an insane competitor. And I think that's also one of the coolest things.
Let me ask you this. If John Daly won, now the labeled FedEx Cup and was a champion, 3-time champion, and then was able to parlay that over into NASCAR and was a 3-time champion in NASCAR.
Why'd you pick NASCAR? Why'd you pick NASCAR?
Because I'm just saying it's everybody's looks at it as two athletes. Sure. You have to be an athlete in these sports. Oh. Would you then label John Daly as one of the greatest dual sport athletes of all time?
No, because he hasn't won enough.
Why not, Sterling? Why not? You're a 3-time PGA champion, and then you're a 3-time NASCAR champion, but you ain't gonna say he's one of the greatest all-time dual sport athletes?
I mean, winning 3 times on the PGA is awesome, right? But I think there's a long list of people that have done that. There's not a long list of people that have won a unanimous MVP, is a 2-time MVP winner, has 4 NBA rings, is the top 3-point shooter in NBA history, is going to go down as the best free throw shooter in history. Like those, we're not comparing similar people in terms of their sport, right?
I mean, you threw him over. You threw it out there. You said if you made the jump over to PGA, made it over into golf professionally, would he be labeled? So I'm just saying, starting with PGA and putting it over into another professional sport, where would you put John Daly? And yes, I'm using John Daly because John Daly's big.
Sure,
Daly,
but
he leans into it too.
You're not
taking
somebody that'd be, honestly though, you would need to take somebody that is, I don't even know who, right? I mean, let's say Brooks goes and wins like 2 or 3 more. Yeah. Right. And then Brooks went on to like another sport and played. Yeah. That would be more comparable. Right.
Okay, fine. How about let's do this. I'll extend an olive branch on this one.
Sure.
Michael Phelps makes it over to the PGA Tour. Michael Phelps wins 2 PGA championships. Do you include him then as one of the greatest two sport athletes of all time, dual sport athletes?
Yeah. Okay. He's the best swimmer of all time. How would you not?
That's cool. I was trying to see where, and I gave you a layup with Mike Phelps because it's Mike Phelps.
Sure,
but I want to see where you hold. Oh, my bad. I'll let you finish.
No, what I was going to say, we don't talk enough about. All right, yes, Bo Jackson, his career is derailed because of the knee injuries. Deion has the turf toe injury late in his career. Right, he'd already won with the Niners and the Cowboys. I just think they're 2 different. Like when you're talking about accolades, though, arguably Deion's the best cornerback.
Yeah.
Right. he also wasn't like tested all the time. So like I think there's just a different view of what you think of when you think of a guy like Steph, who like basketball is a different sport. You have the ball in your hands, like you're influencing the game at all times. Where Bo Jackson, who could have had that at the running back position, but again, his career's cut short. So like, I just think it's interesting that we don't maybe caveat that sometimes. Like their accolades don't stack up to other guys, right? Even though they're to me, they're the best two athletes, they're maybe two best athletes of all time, right? But then when you think about a duo or dual sport position, so yeah, I just think that's interesting to think about. Like when you're making these comparisons, like you have to think about what Steph's accomplished on the court, to then have somebody comparable.
No, that's. I mean, I understand it. I was just trying to see where you're coming at from the golf angle and being an athlete. You take John Daly, and it looks like you're disrespecting John Daly's game because I had to bring up Michael Phelps. No, it's all good because he'd have some majors in there, but it's all good. But it's all good. I'm just trying to see where your head's at. All right, it's okay, Sterling. I got you in a pretzel right now. It's all good. But being in that pretzel, who's trying to expand out in basketball. I'm just playing. What's up?
I said pause.